everyone, welcome back to Reformers Bookshop. I'm Sarah. It's time for another story time with Sarah, and I've got another awesome book for you. This book is called God's Very Good Idea. It's written by Trillia Newbell, illustrated by Catalina Echeverri, and produced by the Good Book Company. Now, I wonder, do you know what God's very, very good idea was? Maybe you've had some good ideas, but we're going to hear about this one, and maybe we'll find out just how much better God's very, very good idea was. All right, let's start. In the beginning. In fact, before the beginning, God had a very good idea. Wow, look at all the colours. It was an even better idea than solar panels, which were invented in 1954, or chocolate chip cookies, yum, invented in 1938. It was an even better idea than fireworks, which were invented 700 years before Jesus was born, or roller skates, or the Super Soaker, or colour TV, or the life raft, that's an important invention, or even better than the X-ray machine. Wonder what God's idea was. God's idea was to make people, lots of different people, who would all enjoy loving Him and all enjoy loving each other. They would all be made in His image, which means they would all be like little mirrors, reflecting what God is like. Because God is full of love, they would be full of love too. Wow, look at all those different people. Maybe you can find one that looks a bit like you. See, they're all so different, but they're all made in God's image, which means they all are made to love like God loves. So, God got to work. He made a beautiful world for the first people. A man, oh, look at him up there in the tree, and a woman. He said to them, "Be happy. Enjoy loving me and loving each other. Have a huge family that will fill the earth and look after the earth and enjoy the earth." Looks like a beautiful place to live. God carried on creating people. All of them were made in His image, and all of them were different too. Some of them were men, and some of them were women, like me. Some liked reading, and some liked riding bikes. Some had darker skin and some had lighter skin. Some had curly hair and some had straight hair. Look at them all, they're all so different. They're all made in God's image. They look like they're all having so much fun. We live in God's world. We're all different. None of you are like me, at least not in all the ways. But we're also all the same. We're both made in God's image. Everyone you see is different to you and the same as you. They might look different or speak different or play different, but we are all made in God's image, and so we are all valuable. Look at all these people having fun. Look, there's a dad and his daughter flying a kite. There are some workers being very happy, chopping the tree there. There are some roller skating friends, some friends playing with a ball up in the tree. Wow, they're all having so much fun together. This is God's very good idea, but do you think it's always like that? Are we always happy and loving? No. People ruined God's very good idea. The first people chose not to love God. This is called sin. And because they chose not to love God as they should, they forgot how to love each other as they should. Look, these friends aren't being very nice. They're laughing at their friend who hurt herself. Now this boy's running away with the ball and leaving his other friend alone. This friend isn't being very nice and ignoring her by being on his phone. We're the same. We choose not to love God, and so we're not able to love each other like we should. We sin. Sometimes we treat others badly because they are different to us. People fight with each other. People are mean to each other. People laugh at each other. Doesn't sound very good. What do you think is going to happen to God's very good idea? Because we have ruined God's good idea, He's not pleased with us. Our sin means we can't be friends with Him or enjoy living with Him. We need God's forgiveness for ruining His very good idea. It's the same for everyone in the world. People who like reading need forgiveness, and people who like bikes need forgiveness. People with darker skin need forgiveness, and people with lighter skin need forgiveness. People with curly hair need forgiveness, and people with straight hair like me need forgiveness. But God was not surprised by everyone ruining things. He had always had a very good plan to rescue his very good idea. So, what do you think He did? God got to work. He came to earth as a person, Jesus. Look, it looks like Mary and Joseph with Jesus as a baby. Here, there's the dove coming down, which is the Spirit coming down to Jesus. And here's Jesus on top of a mountain with lots of fish and bread. Jesus loved people who were different to Him. He loved people who no one else loved. Maybe you know these stories. He's saying to a woman, "Your faith has made you well." This man's saying, "I can see." He's giving this man food to eat. Jesus always enjoyed loving all the different people He met. Jesus shows us how to enjoy loving each other. But people didn't love Jesus. Instead, they hated Him. They put Him to death on a cross. But this was part of God's plan. On the cross, Jesus took our sin so that we can be forgiven. Jesus forgives people for their sins. See, before the cross, really sad and broken, our heart is all rubbed out and red. And after the cross, we're new people. We're clean and have a new heart. Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose back to life and then went back to live in heaven. And then He gave people His Spirit to help them enjoy loving Him and loving all the different people they know. Jesus helps us to love each other. One day, God will finish His very good idea. Jesus will come back and make the world perfect again. And everyone who's asked Jesus to forgive them will be there, with their different languages and skin colours and curly and straight hair. They will enjoy loving God and loving each other. They will enjoy praising God for making, rescuing, and finishing His very good idea. But here's a very, very, very good part of God's very good idea. You don't even have to wait till when Jesus comes back to enjoy it. Jesus welcomes anyone who asks Him to forgive them. And when Jesus welcomes someone, He welcomes them into His family forever. He welcomes people who like reading and people who like riding bikes. He welcomes people with darker skin and people with lighter skin. He welcomes people with curly hair and people with straight hair. God's family is called the church. Your church friends are your brothers and sisters, your wonderful and colourful church family. You can enjoy loving them and loving God with them. This is God's very good idea. Lots of different people enjoying loving Him and loving each other. God made the plan. People ruined the plan. God rescued it, and He will finish it. Wow, doesn't that look amazing? And with your church family, you can enjoy being part of God's very big plan right now. There we go. What a lovely book. I know when I see those bright and colourful pictures, it just makes me long for the day when everything can be made perfect. But But until then, remember we always have our church family, which is like a taste of what heaven is going to be. So until next week or in 2 weeks' time, when I'll get another book to read with you, have fun. Bye.